The markets, as predicted, are not reacting positively to Donald Trump being the president-elect and his erratic behavior thus far. As predicted, we're now seeing that strategists are now lifting the probability of a recession taking place to 75% after Donald Trump's win, and they are recommending that people prepare and brace themselves for a recession. Under President Biden, the S&P 500 and the stock market continue to hit record highs every single day, or mostly every single day. But now the S&P 500 is below where it opened on November 6th. Here's the headline from CNBC. Stocks fall, heading for a negative week as post-election rally loses steam. And you can see here the stock market really does not like Donald Trump. You can see it going down, 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 and down even more. Now look, Elon Musk did say that if Donald Trump were to win, the people would suffer. They would suffer hardship. But Elon Musk said that your suffering, that your hardship would be good in the long run. Well, that's not the case. We were saying it was not the case. Elon Musk and his billionaire bros, they're making a lot more money now while we, the people, are suffering. At one point, the stock market was almost down about 1,000 points today. But look, when you fire half of all federal employees in the current job market, as Donald Trump suggests, as you raise tariffs or you impose tariffs on American companies 2,500%, 3,000%, as Donald Trump claims, when you try to just cut taxes for the billionaires while screwing over the rest of we, the people, when you dismantle social safety nets, guess what happens? That pushes the company into economic collapse. Here's the headline from the New Republic. The stock market is tanking as Trump unveils a nightmare cabinet. Remember when everyone was excited about the stock market going up after Trump won? No, now the market is actually reacting to what Donald Trump is doing. And one of the things that we're seeing, for example, is that with his selection of RFK Jr., for example, to lead HHS, Health and Human Services, pharmaceutical stocks are now crashing. And look, I'm not here to be a cheerleader and be like, I love Big Pharma. Not at all. But there are some things that Big Pharma does well. They do make some life-saving medication. We do have to recognize that they are a major part of our economy. Look, the Biden-Harris administration recognized that. They worked to use the government to negotiate lower drug prices with Big Pharma, not to actually tank and crash American corporations. You look at all the pharmaceutical stocks, and they are in a crash mode right now, whether it's Moderna, Novavax, BioNTech. You take a look at it. These pharma stocks are doing absolutely horrific, which MAGA is apparently cheering. They like when American corporations are doing horrible. Meanwhile, on the Reddit boards, consumers are talking about, hey, look, Elon Musk said that Trump's plan would collapse the U.S. economy. But Americans are rooting for that. This is what Elon Musk said what was going to happen. So lots of people on Reddit, for example, are like this guy, Shape of Things, saying, so currently the plan is to fire 75% of government employees, ban vaccines and fluoride, slash taxes for the rich, pull out of all international agreements, kill Obamacare and Medicaid, get rid of all veterans support, women's reproductive rights, and all things LGBTQ. Yeah, you think things are going to go well like this? And then the next person goes, but guess what? We owned you, libs. We owned you. Your body, my choice. Woohoo! Trump train, baby. I mean, seriously? And then one person pointed this out in terms of the article that says America now has a 75% chance of recession. This account goes, really? You think it's only 75%? Someone's an optimist because during Donald Trump's first term, the recession caused by his much more mild tariffs actually started in 2019. And here's the thing that people like to forget. I don't know if it's COVID amnesia or whatever, but the Trump recession was beginning in 2019. He was destroying manufacturing jobs. He was gutting all of his promises. We're going to make America great again. I mean, It's as if those people forgot why they hated Trump and they invented in their mind that he was doing great things. What I'm reading you is what happened in 2019. 2019, not when Biden was in office. I'll get to that in a moment. When Trump was in office, this is October 1, 2019, U.S. manufacturing dives to 10-year low as trade tensions weigh. Donald Trump imposed tariffs at that time as part of a trade war with China. And U.S. manufacturing activity, guess what? Tumbled to more than a 10-year low. Again, it's like, you know, the movie Men in Black where they have that wand that they wave in front and then people like forget. Was COVID this wand on tens of millions of Americans who like pretend that that didn't happen? This is the Los Angeles Times headline from October 11th, 2019. Manufacturing is now officially in a recession despite Trump's vow to boost industry. He's doing his strong hands. Stupid. Because at the end of the day, there was a recession taking place back then before COVID. This is December 2019. From Market Insider. Trump pledged to revive the manufacturing sector, but it just fell deeper into a recession. Let me be clear. That was 2019. I know not we all, but the media then gives Trump a mulligan. But there was COVID that he had to. First off, he mishandled the pandemic, which is what led to a freaking depression, the likes of which we hadn't seen since Herbert Hoover and we hadn't seen since the 1930s. So let's be clear about Trump's mismanagement caused the horrific reaction. But it was happening before then. And everyone's like, oh, it didn't happen. Cat food has been the same forever. It's time for cat food to move into the 21st century. Don't you agree? That's why you've got to try Smalls. It's time to make kibble a thing of the past. Smalls cat food is protein-packed recipes made with preservative-free ingredients you'd find in your fridge, and it's delivered right to your door. That's why veterinarians.org rates Smalls 10 out of 10 for ingredient quality. Now, our cat's favorite flavor is smooth fish, and our cats prefer Smalls way more than the previous cat food. I legitimately did a taste test. I didn't actually eat it myself, but put two bowls side by side, and they immediately went to Smalls. Smalls was started back in 2017 by a couple of guys home cooking cat food in small batches for their friends. A few short years later, they've served millions of meals to cats across the country. I feel better knowing I'm feeding my cat real food, not burnt kibble. I can finally open a packet of cat food and not get nauseous. I actually recognize the ingredients in a packet of Smalls food. So after making the switch to Smalls, 88% of cat owners reported overall health improvement. That's great. That's a big deal. The team at Smalls is so confident your cat will love their product that you can try it risk-free. That means they will refund you if your cat won't eat their food. Now is the time to make the switch to Smalls, so head to smalls.com. It's easy to spell, SMALLS.com, smalls.com/Meidas, and use the promo code Meidas at checkout for 50% off your first order plus free shipping. That's the best offer you'll find, but you have to use our code Meidas for 50% off your first order. One last time, that's promo code Meidas for 50% off your first order plus free shipping. Go to smalls.com/Meidas. So let me remind you, though, of the difference in the headlines when Trump was in office, when Biden was in office. When Biden, stock market today, the Dow, S&P, hit record closes as stocks extend September super rally, the New Republic. Trump's failing stock just hit its lowest point yet. As we also reported before as well, under the Biden administration, 16 million new jobs, record high stock market. It set records like every day. Record high new business applications, record high middle class wealth gains, record high private investment in American manufacturing, strongest growth among leading economies. And it wasn't just like by accident, right? There's the Infrastructure Act, Inflation Reduction Act, Biden's concept of bottom-up, middle-out economics versus let's provide social welfare for billionaires. That's who needs welfare. The billionaires need to be taken care of even more, which is Trump's plan. When you unlock the ingenuity of the American worker, which Biden realized, and you invest in the worker, that lifts us all up. Trump's plan is the opposite, and frankly, worse than the opposite, because he just doesn't know what he's doing. He's incompetent. As I've always been saying to people, I don't know what you've invented in your mind about this guy. In addition to how dangerous he is, he's an idiot. He has no clue what he's doing with the economy. The very fact that he was telling people we're going to tariff China tells you that he doesn't even know what a tariff is. A tariff is a tax imposed on the American companies. Remember, we've been showing this over and over again, all of the record highs in the stock market, and Fox would have to say a third straight record close, I'm not going to play the video, but a third straight record close, a fifth straight record close. Here we are, another record high for the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. Also, crime was at near 50-year lows. Unemployment was at near record lows. And as I said, the stock market was the highest. But look, Kyle Sweetser, who's posting this, he was a former Trump supporter, but he is someone who's entrepreneurial as well. And he recognized this is the graphic that the U.S. Census Bureau, the Biden administration, put this out using objective data. I've showed you this chart all the time. So there was look at the manufacturing boom under President Biden. You can see right there the various acts like the CHIPS Act moving the semiconductor industry here, the Inflation Reduction Act, the Infrastructure Investment Act, the America Rescue Plan, all things that Biden implemented. And then boom, manufacturing boom. The craziest thing to me too is that in all of these swing states, which now swung in favor of Trump, the factories that have gone up, the jobs that were created, all of that happened because of Biden, and those jobs were not there when Trump would show up with golden shovels, right? And say in Michigan and say in Ohio and say, oh, I got a golden shovel, we're going to build this strong. And then he would never build anything because it was all fugazi. It never actually happened at all. The American manufacturing investment boom was the biggest in history. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, over the past 4 years, what was he doing? He was cheerleading against the economy. I'm continuing to make my promise of not showing Trump clips in my videos because I don't even want to hear his voice. I don't even want to look at him. So I'm not going to play you the clips, but you remember the clips where Trump would say, I hope that there is a depression before I take office. Remember he would say that in the interviews? He would say, I hope that the economy crashes. He would root for it in his speeches as he was campaigning, and Americans would be like, yeah, crash that economy. Like, what were you doing? What kind of brainworm infected the people? What happened? So here was the Biden-Harris statement that they put out about Trump rooting for an economic crash. Here's another graphic that we've been showing. Factory construction contributes most to growth in 40 years under Biden-Harris. By the way, if you want to just take a snapshot of this graphic, obviously I'm not going to go through the 300 or 400 things listed here that President Biden did, but just take a look at all of those actual tangible accomplishments right here. And what are we seeing now as well? So one of the things that companies are doing, and you may have someone that you know who's telling you this, cutting back on Christmas bonuses, reducing staff. The companies are spending more to bring in parts from overseas, thinking that there's going to be a trade war. They are preparing in their mind for tariffs, taxing them. They need to get their stuff from overseas. So they're getting goods right now versus being in a growth mode. They're in more of a survival mode. And so companies ready price hikes to offset Trump's global tariff plans. And as the Fed has been lowering the interest rates because President Biden got inflation under control, which Donald Trump caused the inflation by adding $8 trillion to our debt, printing money recklessly and having tax cuts that he couldn't pay for. You add all of that together, and that's what causes inflation. By the way, Ron DeSantis said that during the Republican debate that Trump was too scared to show up to. Nikki Haley said Trump was the one who caused inflation. Ron DeSantis admitted Trump was the one who caused inflation. His policies caused the inflation. Inflation doesn't just happen all overnight. It got caused. Biden inherited it. Biden fixed it. Now we're getting out of it. And then Trump's doing the same dangerous and stupid stuff that got us there in the first place. Here was the headline from Elon Musk. Elon Musk sees economic plans to cause temporary hardship. But let's not forget, America's economy was at a historic point ahead of the presidential election. What President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris did to the economy was nothing short of an economic miracle. But it was based upon policies that focused on harnessing the power of workers, many of which actually voted against Biden and Harris and voted for Donald Trump, even though he screwed them. So now we're in this position where the market is shaky, the market is panicked. Matt Gaetz as AG, Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence, RFK Jr. as Director of HHS, all of these people coming in, the markets are like, what the hell is happening to America right now? And now a 75% chance of recession or potentially more as a result of these policies. And just think about it, mass deportations. I mean, just so you're going to spend billions of dollars every single day, which is going to add to a massive, massive debt, increase the deficit by trillions. So you're going to do that. You're going to do mass deportations. You're going to rip families apart, spend the money to rip them apart versus investing it in workers. And then you're going to do workplace raids where then you raid workplaces that are trying to be productive and that's what they say. They're doing workplace raids. And then you're going to snatch workers from the workplace who are trying to work and contribute to our economy. And guess what? Then the workplaces aren't going to have workers. I mean, it's the dumbest plan imaginable. It's a dangerous plan and the markets see it. This isn't an I told you so moment, but this is a moment where we, the people, still need to rise up and say enough. No, I know it's too late. The election's over, but we can still let our voices be heard. Let them know how dissatisfied we are with this and say enough. Enough. Share this video with people. Show friends, coworkers, colleagues. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers together. We're staying on the front lines. We're fighting together. We're calling this out. We're going to give you the data. And I'm not showing Trump clips. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.